I want to share with you something that Marcus Aurelius wrote in one of his books in Meditations. He writes, "The obstacle is the path." And it's such a powerful sentence because so much of what we do in life, so much of what we try to accomplish in life comes down to embracing difficulty. But we don't like embracing difficulty, do we? We don't like suffering. We don't like feeling uncomfortable or feeling challenged. But I think we forget that it's through these things that we grow. It's through these things that we become stronger. So when you feel yourself recoiling from the difficulty of a task or the discomfort of a situation, remember that this is where your growth is going to come from. This is where you're going to become more resilient. This is where you're going to get better at life. This is where you're going to develop the sort of strong mind that will never break. This is the training ground of the unbreakable mind. So let us talk about how we can use the idea of the obstacle being the path to help us embrace difficulty and get better at life. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm the host. Every day on this channel, we look at timeless wisdom from the past to help us live better and more fulfilling lives today. So if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe. When we think about all the great accomplishments in life, they didn't come easy. They came from facing tremendous difficulty. We look back at those who have accomplished great things and we admire them. We celebrate them. But we do not often think about all the obstacles they had to overcome in order to get there. We just see the end result and we say, "Wow, that's amazing." But we don't think about all the times they fell down and had to pick themselves back up again, all the times they were rejected or ridiculed or laughed at. These are the things that build character. These are the things that make us stronger. And it's through this process that we ultimately become more successful. Think about the entrepreneur who starts a business. It's not an easy thing to do. There are so many obstacles that can get in the way. There's so much risk involved. But it's through facing these obstacles and overcoming them that the entrepreneur grows and becomes more resilient. The same is true for the athlete who wants to compete at a high level. It's not easy to be an elite athlete. It takes tremendous dedication, discipline, and hard work. But it's through facing the challenges of competition and pushing through the pain and exhaustion that the athlete becomes stronger and more skilled. And it's the same for our inner lives as well. Think about someone who has a very calm and peaceful mind. How did they get that way? It wasn't by avoiding challenges or shielding themselves from difficult emotions. It was by facing those challenges and emotions head-on and learning how to manage them. Someone who is able to remain calm and focused under pressure, it's because they've been in a lot of uncomfortable situations before, and they've learned how to stay grounded. There's a story that I read about a surfer who was interviewed after winning a big competition, and the interviewer asked him, "How is it that you're able to stay so calm and focused when the waves are really big and the conditions are really tough?" And the surfer said, "It's because I practice in the worst conditions possible. If I can stay focused and in control when the waves are huge and the winds are strong, then I know I can do it anywhere." That's a beautiful metaphor for life, isn't it? If we can learn to stay calm and focused and in control when things are at their most difficult, then we can handle anything that life throws at us. But this is easier said than done, right? It's not easy to stay calm and focused when things are difficult, but it's something that we can learn. It's a skill that we can develop, and it all starts with our attitude. It starts with how we choose to view the difficulties in our lives. Marcus Aurelius says that the obstacle is the path. But what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that we can't avoid the things that we need to do. We can't escape from the pain or the discomfort. We have to embrace it. We have to go towards it. Because it's only in the midst of difficulty that we can grow and become stronger. It's only when we face our fears and overcome them that we can truly be free. We like to think of life as being like a road. There's a destination over there, and we're just driving along this straight road towards that destination. But it's not like that, is it? Life is more like a mountain path. There are twists and turns and uphills and downhills. There are obstacles and challenges that get in our way, and it's how we deal with these obstacles that determines the outcome. If we get stuck on the flat parts, then we're never going to reach our destination. We need to embrace the difficulty. We need to push ourselves beyond our limits. We need to learn to love the struggle. And it's not just about the physical struggle, it's also about the mental and emotional struggle. When we're faced with difficulty, we often feel negative emotions. We feel fear or anxiety or anger or resentment. But these emotions are there for a reason. They're trying to tell us something. They're trying to tell us that we're afraid or that we're worried or that we're frustrated. But instead of listening to these emotions and understanding what they're trying to tell us, we often try to get rid of them. We try to escape from them or ignore them or pretend that they're not there. But this doesn't make them go away. It only makes them worse. What we need to do instead is to acknowledge these emotions. We need to sit with them. We need to understand why they're there and what we can do to change them. Because it's only once we've done that that we can move forward. There's a Zen proverb that goes, "Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water." At first, this seems like a riddle. What does it mean? But when you think about it, it makes sense. Before enlightenment, when we're not wise, we tend to struggle with everything. We struggle with chopping wood and carrying water. But after enlightenment, after we've become wise, we still have to chop wood and carry water, but we do it in a different way. We do it with a clear mind. We do it with a calm heart. We do it with gratitude and acceptance. In other words, the obstacle is the path. The difficulty is the path. The suffering is the path. And it's in this path that we find our growth, our strength, and our wisdom. Epictetus said that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's up to us whether we want to add to our suffering or whether we want to learn from it, whether we want to embrace it and grow from it. So the next time you're faced with a challenge or an obstacle or something that makes you feel uncomfortable, remember that this is where your growth is going to come from. This is where you're going to become stronger. This is where you're going to get better at life. This is the training ground of the unbreakable mind. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it make you better. All right, friends, let's go do some great things this week. Let's go embrace the difficulty and let's see where it takes us. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and drop your take in the comments.